Court Captains, a volleyball podcast.
Where we talk all things Pro Volleyball Federation. I'm Kelly.
I'm Nikki,
I'm Ian.
and today we're talking Valks are champs. For the
Also,
first time in PVF history, for the second time, there is a champion.
yeah. Well, yeah, and apologies for sounding like, I'm in a car or something, but the internet's bad. What can you do?
What
He's in
can
he's
you
in
do?
from his phone.
Yeah, I'm
That's okay.
dialed in.
Dialed all the way in. Just like you were watching all of these matches, Ian. I want to know now, Kelly was watching them, but she was also playing a lot of volleyball this weekend.
I was also playing.
So,
I
she
was
was
trying to
getting,
prove myself.
and she did. She proved herself quite well. But the you were keeping up with my updates and the scores and those kinds of things. Ian,
Yes,
I feel like you
yes.
were pretty glued to CBS Sports, weren't you?
Oh, certainly. I actually downloaded Fubu, a free
Uh,
weekend trial to get CBS Sports in the, crispest picture that I could. I had my sister over, former high school volleyball player who hadn't watched really many games but was very involved as well. It was good.
Love that. And how do we
So
feel
fun.
overall about Orlando winning? Obviously, you all can imagine how I feel
I mean, as the number one Orlando Valkyries fan,
of this podcast. Yeah.
yeah, maybe the world.
I think it was well deserved. I think they played really well. They played better than all the teams that they went up against, and they deserved it. That's my take.
They played better than all of them. They did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty dead on.
yeah.
to be honest, when I was there, and really beforehand, if I gave this a lot of thought about what I was truly rooting for, I was going hashtag ABO, which is anyone but Omaha. I would have been pleased no matter who won. So Orlando winning for me really was just like the cherry on top. Um,
Yeah.
I was straight up posting hashtag ABO that whole match. And like only a select few of you knew what I was talking about. And now all of you do. I was just so engaged in that Indy Omaha game. I was cheering from the media table, which I really don't think that's allowed.
True. Yeah, it's
Um,
probably not.
or at least it's frowned upon, but
Yeah, it's gauche. It's definitely gauche.
I was
What a fun
involved.
match.
It was so
Awesome.
good to see in person. And that was, I think, the best match of the weekend. Not to say that the other matches weren't good volleyball, but that was really like the thriller. I was sort of shocked by Atlanta's performance in that
Yeah.
semi. It really did not go the way that I thought it was going to go. And
Yeah.
overall, I would say that Indy looked to me like they prepped for Omaha
Yep.
and not really further. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they just like they went into it real hot on their first
Yeah.
thing to accomplish. And they
And
did they handled that well.
like not to say that like the coaching staff or the players are like not prepared or didn't do their jobs, but I do think like given the press conference that we included last week, was that last week? 2
It
weeks
was two
ago.
weeks ago. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Like I think George like he was just pleased to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that maybe they accomplished their goal for
Mm-hmm.
the season. And not to say
Yeah.
that, they wanted to give up or anything, but like winning would have just been a cherry on top.
Yeah. I mean, for that Omaha game, Indy looked so motivated.
Yeah.
And I think that their energy, they had a small handful of fans there. I think it was mostly friends and family and like people affiliated with the organization in some way. Those people were very loud, but their bench was loud. Meanwhile, Omaha fans were everywhere in this arena. Overall, I want to get it out of the way and have a conversation about attendance. I think I read that attendance for that semifinal day was under 3,000.
Oof.
A lot of Omaha fans were there. I would say over half of the people there were Omaha people. But then we also had like fans of the league, Vegas fans who were there to watch volleyball. There was a little contingent of Mojo fans. There were some Orlando people there early. Like there was representation from all these different groups. And some of Omaha fans, including all of those people I mentioned, like still attended the Sunday match. I
Wow.
think it was a little bit less.
Yeah.
But the energy that Indy as a team had to come up with in order to hold a candle to all of those Omaha
Mm-hmm.
fans.
Mm-hmm.
And like some Omaha fans were heckling.
Oh.
I have never seen that, heard that in person at a match. Obviously, we've only gone to a small handful. I remember feeling like last year during the playoffs, I got the sense that Omaha fans were just like happy that there was volleyball and they were happy to watch and they were very like, clap, clap, clap. That was good volleyball. Obviously, you like miss some of these things when you're just watching on screen. So I really don't know if this is new, but like the Omaha fans against that Indy game, yelling, screaming, heckling. And you know who was leading them? Was Mac Pedraza's parents.
Wow. Calling out the Pedrazas.
I saw them with my own eyes. This is what happens when you get one of us at a match. We can like actually see what's going on. Calling out Cece Crawford for missing her serves.
Oof. That's tough.
Like, what is this, a high school gym? What?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Especially like the less people in the gym, which, you know, whatever, there were people there. It just makes it so like she knows it's you.
Yeah.
If you're like, "Hey, Cece, you suck." Boo.
There's no
there was
anonymity.
like hey, 12, you gonna get it over the net this time? Like
Ugh.
truly direct communication.
Now, Nikki, when you played in front of crowds, would you be able to like hear that stuff?
Well,
Or
judging
could
by
you
the
like,
fact that my crowds were never very large, yeah, for sure.
but like every once or okay.
No, I don't think there were any crowds for me, Kelly, but that's a very nice thing to ask.
But were there, all right, less crowds, but like were there hecklers?
Yeah.
Would that have happened? Is it like mean parents?
And you would like hear it?
Yeah, but like, I mean, maybe not during the play, but certainly before the serve
Yeah, true. Okay.
and after the point was over, I could
Yeah.
hear stuff like
You
that
can't
because that's when
help
I'm
but hear it.
listening.
Yeah.
That's when I'm listening for like coaches to yell my name or like
Yeah.
Sure.
the ref to call you over or whatever. Like your ears are more open to those things.
Yeah.
Maybe not during play. I don't think
Yeah,
that my
yeah,
brain
yeah.
could take that, but and yeah, there were some people who I think that hecklers really enjoyed getting to heckle at a Division III volleyball match because they could be heard, you know?
Yeah, you
Like
gotta
that.
do it.
Oh, I wanted to say about the anyone but Omaha situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. I think
Oh,
it
good.
like I think it would have been really depressing if Omaha won 2 years in a row and then left the league.
Oh yeah.
It would have been like demoralizing.
Horrible.
It, Lots of comments would be made.
Mhm.
However, for the actual players,
Right.
it's like,
Yeah, it sucks.
yeah, it
It's not
sucks.
them.
But, they have opportunities to go to other teams next year. So, whatever.
They definitely do.
And also, at least they won. Well, whoever was still on the team last year, they won one.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I was so ABO. I was like jittery and scared during
Oh my
during-
gosh.
I
Yeah.
was so invested.
Watching that
I've never been more invested than anything in my life.
It was 14-11 Indy.
And they almost gave it up, right?
And I was gonna throw my phone.
I was gonna throw up.
I was gonna cry.
And I
Gotta
was
throw
like
up.
on screen, blurry, but like you would have caught that.
Yeah, we would have recognized you throwing up.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
so like Ian, I was like pretty blurry, right? I was behind the ref.
You were pretty blurry, but like in the championship game, at the end when Indy was just desperation spamming
The
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
you were dead in the middle of the screen the whole time. And Alex told me, well, I think it was actually the Friday games that Alex told me there was like dog issues as well. So he was like, I think some of her looking at the phone was because of dog issues. Some of it's because she's doing content.
Wait,
She's
was I like
nervous.
on my phone the whole time?
No.
No, not at all. But like you looked like you were doing the Adam Schefter thing, where like it looked like you were locked in. You were working at the table.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up doing like analysis of each set.
I really liked that.
Oh, thanks. I kind of just came up with it in the moment.
And I'm
Good
surprised the
content.
PVF did not repost any of it.
You know, they were posting a lot on their own
Well,
time.
like
I
corporate
wasn't even really
follows.
tagging them either because, like,
Oh,
I was saying, Kelly's like, well, then how would they have reposted it,
yeah.
Nikki?
Hmm.
But I was like saying, I was calling out issues on one side or the other. And so much of what the league itself posts is very rah that I was like, me saying like Indy's hitting 50. So what the fuck? Like I didn't really think that they were going to be pumped about reposting me calling out
Yeah, sure.
any like detrimental aspects. So I was just doing that for the fans, man.
I mean, they're definitely like it's a weird thing, I'm sure, because like they were talking about it on the telecast, obviously, as it was happening. But yeah, I don't know like how how much the official accounts want to be reposting like criticism, I guess. But
Right.
For
Right.
sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah, they want to stay neutral, I suppose. But
I
I
mean,
thought you had very good takes.
oh,
That was good.
thanks. One I was really proud of was the fifth set of the Indy Omaha. I called Nina Chaich Nina Chuklutch,
Oh
and she
my God.
reposted it.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
And I had ABO, and she reposted it.
I'm gonna send that to an Instagram millennial cringe page.
Stop! It's kind of good.
Kind of.
I mean, she was insane in the
She was
in the
insane.
semifinal.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
She had 4 blocks too. She had
Uh-huh.
347. She had
Yep.
61% positive passing too.
Uh-huh. Lydia Martin was incredible in that match.
600.
Yeah.
600 with 14 kills and no errors are getting blocked.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Ajani like did great. I always think it's funny when we're like, she only hit 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, they
Took a
extremely
lot of
good.
I'm sure
focus.
they were like zeroed in on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, they were, and she
in
didn't
the
get as many
scouting report.
attempts. She didn't
Yeah.
get as many attempts as a result of that as she normally would, but Anna DeBeer also got 41 attempts. So this was an outside heavy match for sure.
Yeah.
Although Lydia and Ajani were used at a pretty good clip, but Anna DeBeer hit 244 on 41 attempts.
Which, like, them being outside heavy makes sense because they're going up against a shorter right side with Omaha's setter.
Right. But Indy also passed 61% positive to Omaha's 44%. And that very much was like,
Yeah.
I think where the nail in the coffin kind of shows
Yeah.
itself in the data because
Yeah.
Omaha also hit 250, but Indy hit 331. But to lose and hit 250
Yeah.
is pretty good.
I mean,
then
it was a close 5-setter, you know?
Yeah. On the note of the passing, though, I don't think I'll ever understand until the day I die is why Omaha didn't play Camila Gomez at libero for this match. She didn't get in at all. They had been going with Allison Witten for the last handful of matches of the regular season, which I read point blank as we clinched first, so here Allison Witten have some starts. And then she started in this game. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
And then she passed a 55% positive, which is fine. But I just thought Camila played so great all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know
You think
what
it's
that's
like
about.
you think it's like a coaching trying to get too cute with it? Like throw them a wrench and be like they won't be expecting it. And then it just didn't
Maybe.
work out.
I mean, it'd be
Mhm.
interesting.
Bleak, right?
It's like obviously we can only gather the efficacy of your serve receive from stats,
Mm-hmm.
but it might be interesting like if you looked overall like how digging was overall, and like,
Yeah.
maybe one libero is better at digging the like
Yeah,
sharp cross, or there's something there
right. She did not
that,
lead in digs, but also Emily Londa did. And
but it's just like,
that
I mean,
means that Indy hit at the right side, which is pretty smart, right?
yeah,
For that.
yeah,
So sometimes you just don't know if it's like the stat with an absolute
yeah.
number or the scout.
That's what I'm saying. Like digging stats are kind of silly.
Man.
Like you can't really glean any information. Glean,
Right.
Yeah.
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 Glean.
glean,
Very
Sounds
good.
right.
Efficacy now glean. Go
glean or
off.
gleam.
No, glean.
Okay.
Definitely clean.
You can't glean any like extra information just from how many digs you have. Whereas like
Yeah.
the serve receive
Sure.
that they're giving us with their percentages, we can confidently say
Right.
whether someone did well or not.
And you also can't really figure out, because we've talked about this before, in serve receive, like how confidently you're taking up space.
Yeah.
That is another component of it, is like, who
Holding
do I
space.
trust you? Right. Pinky grab.
Yeah, holding
Um,
space for defying
it's like
gravity.
I always take that ball and I will take it every time. Like that is
Yeah.
something that a libero tends to like command the back row. But they really went after Reagan Cooper. She passed a 35% positive. Brooke did pass 27 times compared to Reagan's 46, and Brooke passed a 44% and a positive and a 4% perfect, which is not her usual. So I remembered feeling when I was watching it that they were breaking her down a little bit, but like she hit 204. She got blocked 3 times. She had 7 errors. That's considerably more than we are used to seeing from Brooke. And I think she really took this one hard, and maybe thought that it was, a little bit on her,
Yeah.
just because she's normally so reliable for them. And again, she played fine, but
Sure. I mean, she hit, like, it is, the mirror of Ajani's game. Like, they just kept going to Brooke, where Indy was playing well enough and Chaich was playing well enough specifically. They just they didn't force it to Teeler.
I mean, Reagan also had a really great game.
she
but
hit well.
Yeah.
She didn't pass well, but she hit pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I was so impressed by Toyosi Onabanjo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she hit 269 on 26 attempts. 26 is a lot for a middle.
Yeah.
In this day and age, that's a few more than Lydia Martin got. Overall, though, I really think that they were definitely like surprised. Omaha.
Yeah.
They did not think this was going to go this way.
Yeah. That first set, 25-17 goes to Indy. I'm sure that was quite the wake up call.
Yeah, they came out so fast. Well, and here's a commentator check. Like, they were definitely hitting the Omaha just not serving well enough angle, especially early, is just like why Indy was hitting and passing so well.
Was because
In
Omaha
that
didn't
person.
serve hard enough?
Or just they weren't, serving well enough. I don't know if hard enough is
Well,
the
they did
phrase
miss
that would work. Well enough.
few. They missed a few key
Sure.
ones. They missed
Also, just not making it hard
8
enough
overall.
on, like, Chaich to receive and
Right.
put it in a good spot.
That's a really funny way of victim blaming. Or I guess what I mean is not giving credits where it's due. Like, Nina passed
Sure.
great.
Yeah, no, that's
Paul. Oh, Paul.
yeah. But like in the same way that we thought that Indy, if they know who they want to break down on Omaha, like whatever the game plan was for Omaha obviously just did not work according to plan, which I guess the game plan would be like, don't let Teeler have 25 kills, which they did.
Right. Which they executed that part of the plan.
But it just didn't work out.
I mean, I think Bird in the post match was pretty level headed about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, we just didn't have it.
Congrats to Indy. Like, what a great match. That was a 5-set thriller, just like last season. I mean, it was back-to-back 5-set matches in the semis. So props to them. They executed well at a high level. There was just obviously point for point some of those times, so we just needed to execute and finish when we had opportunities.
But yeah,
That
I
was a
mean,
good
in
setup.
that setting, there's no way that I'm going to be like, so where was Camila tonight? Like I
Yeah.
can't, we're not there yet. I was
Well, we
really
have to
curious.
build relationships with these organizations. Like
Yeah,
we're not gonna go out hunting for a smear campaign.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
also just not the time. Like she wouldn't know yet.
right.
I'm sure
Well, and
she'll review.
there's just no reason for me to like be a shark in the room. Like I was very
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. Like
Yeah,
there's no reason. So,
not gonna get a good answer anyways. Like
mm, mm,
they're not gonna throw anyone under the bus, or you would hope they wouldn't throw anyone under the bus. Maybe if they did, it would be good content.
right. But that's not my business yet.
Did you get any merch?
Yeah, I got a t-shirt.
Which
Championship
one?
T-shirt.
It had the logos of the 4 teams that were in the semis. It unfortunately says match for $1 million on the front. They love that, That's
Okay, I think I'm looking at that shirt now, and it's pretty sweet.
the back is awesome.
Yeah.
The front is fine.
Yeah.
Um, Katie got a hat.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was featured on our Instagram live.
Yeah, I think it was too. Where it had the PVF logo on the side with like
Yeah.
25, and then the front maybe also said like match for $1 million.
PVF match for $1 million.
Yeah.
I like the shirt that they have with all the Orlando signatures on the back.
I agree. That obviously wasn't available to us in the moment. Really not a lot of options. The individual team, some of the individual team merch was there, and then pretty much just that t-shirt, and then the hat in like 2 colors.
Did you know that you can buy any of the jerseys and have your last name on them?
Yes, I do.
I love that. That's a
But
jersey foul, though.
you can also custom somebody else's, like a player's name and number.
Yeah.
Like you can custom that. But what I'm mad about there is, do they get a kickback? Because I feel like that's how they don't.
I hope so.
Ian, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, especially if it's not able to be specifically ordered, like you have to custom it. No way they get a kickback on that.
Okay, then you
Unless
do know.
they get
Then
like
there's no way.
there would be no way unless
There would
they
be
just
no
get
way.
like a cut of like merch sales in their contracts or whatever from all the merch.
Yeah, right.
But like maybe if you could buy specifically like a Brittany Abercrombie jersey,
Then
she would get a
then
cut
you
of
would
it. Maybe
give her a cut, right? But this is all custom.
you would hope.
Bizarre.
One time, my mom was at a hockey game and saw a jersey of the hockey player Miroslav Satan, whose name is spelled Satan. And she thought it was a jersey that someone just had custom made to say Satan. And she thought it was so funny and sent it to me. And I was like, that's a man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could get your mom a custom Valk Satan jersey if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should
All
we talk
right.
about Atlanta and Orlando?
Yeah, let's talk
So-
about that.
I mean, when my sister came over, went to pick her up, as I was driving her the 5 minutes back to where we were going to watch the game, our place, she was like, tell me what I, should know for this game. And I was like, probably Brittany Abercrombie. And it was pretty prescient because I think over the two days that you saw her, she had like 123 swings.
In this match, she hit 295
no
and was
service
blocked
errors.
4 times.
Yeah.
But this match was a little bit of a more rounded, not distribution. Can't go so far as to say that, but
kills.
performance, I guess, right? Like,
Mhm.
I think, Lindsay Vanderweide hit 229 on 35 attempts. Kaz Brown hit 556 on 18 attempts. Natalie Foster hit 250 on 20 attempts. So those are good.
The Kaz 7 blocks as well as
I want to know what everyone
Mhm.
did
Be
for
good.
their recovery,
Oh my
In
God.
between
especially Brittany
pool club,
with having 60 pool club, yep,
sauna.
in the form of an ice bath. Like to have 60 attempts in this match
Hmm.
and then also 60 in the next one, like, I mean, maybe her body's just used to it and she's fine.
The game plan of Indy being, more robust for the semifinal than the final. I don't know how you weigh having one day against like letting everybody rest for that day, or like really trying to figure some stuff out for the final the next day.
I mean, you
But like
hope
all you
that,
had to do was watch that match because it was kind of the same game plan.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
just let
mean,
Brittany Abercrombie hit.
they have been playing these teams all year and
Yeah,
like
they know
Yeah.
each other.
uh, yes, like you focus on your first match, but there is still going to be preparation for the following match a little bit in the week ahead.
I'm guessing
So,
though, I guess when my thought with that perception of Indy was just that like they kind of went into it as like a don't count your eggs before they hatch
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
And
Sure.
yes, all of these teams have played everybody 4 times.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you have some information. You probably think it's not that big of a deal to like not train certain things. You've been playing all year. Like it's a I understand. I think it was a little bit more of a mental thing with
yeah, yeah,
Indy. Not that they
yeah,
didn't run certain drills that they needed to,
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
but just like there was so much attention there. And a lot of them watched this match. So they
yeah.
were sitting up on like behind the sideline. I'm sorry, behind the end line. And they were watching this. But
Did their dinner delivered? Were they eating? What?
I think they were eating, but I
Thanks.
didn't get a close look at what it was.
I'm
No.
just fascinated by the. I'm like, yeah. What were their recovery? What did you see that Hyper Ice is a sponsor of the PVF? Do you guys know what
Hype
Hyper Ice is?
rice?
Hyper
Hyper
Ice.
ice. I was like, is it a
Yeah, no,
brown rice?
So
no,
Hyper
his name
Ice
is
is
Bryce.
so Hyper Ice is the company that made originally, I believe, the first like Theragun.
Okay.
And then they also make the like compression boots that you put in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then
Cold
they haven't
ones.
oh they were just released a new product that's a like specifically like an ankle something or other for recovery.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They do
I
not
was really
sponsor this
excited about that
podcast.
sponsorship. I was like, how do we get access to a discount code?
Email them, Kelly.
Okay,
See if the hell
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah, I could really use it for all my physical activities.
we know Kelly could.
I would
That's for
love
sure.
those compression boots.
So overall about this Atlanta Orlando match, I was I was really kind of upset about Atlanta's performance. I
Huge.
thought that them
Yeah,
breaking their win streak was going to be what they needed to not play like this
yeah,
in this
yeah,
match.
yeah,
Micaiah White played beautiful volleyball.
yep.
I want to give her
71% positive passing as well.
uh-huh and passed the most times and hit 386 on 44 attempts. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that Leah Edmond hitting 204 on 49 attempts with only 44% positive. Like, I think this was one of those instances where there's so much pressure on the outside. Brooke was,
Hmm.
I think, reacting this way as well, which was just kind of like I didn't perform.
I mean, it's a fine game.
Oh,
It's
of
not
course.
the best that we've seen her play.
Yeah.
Right.
They
I
needed
would say
a right side.
Aiko did not, yeah, right. Aiko did not play her best. And then Merritt Beeson got in. There were some issues there. So lacking your right side is going to be put a lot of pressure on the outsides. And so then since their passing was off, their out of system attacking wasn't handling it. I mean, Leah and Morgan were both extremely upset at the press conference. And I think coach they were really disappointed. They did not think that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
2 years
Yeah.
in a row.
They've got that's the beginnings of a curse if I've ever heard one.
Oh
Oh
my
boy.
gosh.
New curse.
A new curse alert.
Curse alert.
But hey, Orlando was
We're on
pumped.
Curse Watch 2025.
Curse watch.
In just a question: in college, do they play single elimination
Yeah.
at the end
Yeah,
of the
it's
year?
March Madness basically. A bracket like that.
It's exactly like March Madness. There's a
Wow.
selection Sunday and everything.
Yeah, and I get like
Just not in
there's a
March.
built-in series in volleyball that you get to play 5 sets, but still
Yeah.
potentially 5 sets. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you're just having an off day, which isn't even that off of a day for Omaha or Atlanta necessarily,
hmm
you're not going to win a semifinal. So
Yeah.
Let's talk about whether you think these should be best of 3.
I think wait, the matches? No,
no,
The
the
series.
series.
like
I
if you
think
played 3 matches,
I think if the season wasn't so long, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine them
I mean, you'd have to do
going.
it over like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't it wouldn't be in one venue. You would think, the top seed would get like potentially 2 home matches and the 4 seed would get a home match. But like that's a lot of it's a lot of volleyball.
It's a lot of volleyball. It's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And logistically, yes, it's a lot of like reserving space that they don't have, which I'm going to talk more about that later. Just like on an overall reaction to this tournament. But
also, like, would they even want? Because that does feel like, I would imagine in my mind that Omaha would win a 3-match series against Indy.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's obviously more variation in the one match, but like that's, that could be a good thing. It's like you get to see the teams that are nominally worse on paper have a better chance of potentially upsetting someone.
Mm-hmm. I think the only way it could be done is if you played everybody 3 times instead of 4.
Sure.
And so you made the regular season way shorter, right? In comparison, probably 2 weeks shorter,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks shorter
Yeah.
to give that space for that. And honestly, I don't know that it's necessary. I think this is fun.
No.
You got to show
No, I
up.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also think they like having like an event, like a multi-day event in an area that they can make cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So on the venue, I think it was a little silly to have it in Vegas, to be honest.
Well, so Ian, do you have any thoughts about this? Because this takes us into a list that I have.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I guess like I can see the motivation why you would want to have it there. Just like there's other reasons for people to come. They can make a weekend out of it that the PVF doesn't have to schedule for them. But how many people are doing that anyways? Are traveling to the final of the PVF right now? Obviously, there are reasons we think that maybe they probably didn't want to have it in Omaha this year. But you saw the benefits of that last year, and just that like there's an audience there. Obviously, it's weird competitively because one of the teams is based there.
yeah. Honestly, I don't think they have the wherewithal. They're thinking Vegas, great. That's huge.
Fun. Yeah.
That's so huge for us to be in Vegas. Don't you think?
Like in that they're not thinking about what it takes for a person to
Yes, an
buy plane
average
tickets
person.
to go.
Yeah.
It is definitely raising the price floor for any trip to see the PVF final that you might be making, unless you are within, driving distance. Maybe if I think the Sunday during the day, intriguing to me, because I could see like, oh hey, let's wake up at 2 p.m. go see this, start the day off.
Vodka lemonades.
Mm-hmm.
Sports gambling on our phone.
Yeah.
And then you start the rest of the Sunday, the rest of the Lord's Day in Vegas doing the other things. I don't know if I'm flying to Vegas. Like, I'm going for the PVF final. It's Friday night, and I'm like, do we have to go?
Like, I could probably keep up with it.
I love this
and
perspective.
Go to the Sphere. We could go to the Sphere.
Here are my perspectives on the tournament. some things that y'all said, but I did write them in list form. Here are 3 things that rocked about this tournament. One,
Nice.
the Vegas Thrill staff is great. They're super organized. They're pros at putting these things on.
Shout out.
The facility is great. There's like a little elevated space for VIPs where the Vegas Thrill players were at, and like some other VIPs. The court, the sounds, the big screen, all of the execution of these things, all very well done. Good food selection, just a great place to watch volleyball. So that's all of that was my number 1. Number 2, I think that the players really enjoyed being there for the weekend. I know the league put them up in a hotel on the Strip. There was a gala across the street from that hotel. It was really nice.
Sweet.
They got to get dressed up, have a whole photography moment. Also, this just really confirmed to me that Gen Z spends 25 minutes posing for photos and taking 185 photos in order to choose one that they post on social media. And that was really helpful for me to see with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And validate that the internet is fake. Or at least like just a lot of work. I think that the people who traveled there to see the matches had a great time. As we mentioned, like it's a destination. It logistically, as like a Friday, Sunday, way better than Wednesday, Saturday, which was at Omaha last time. That really meant that like no one was traveling to be in Omaha for 5 days.
The whole time, yeah.
But for Vegas, the Friday, Sunday, the traveling there, the destination, etc. Great. Number 3, Asia Wilson was there.
Pretty sweet.
That's number
cool.
3. That's
She
number 3.
was on the telecast, which
That's
is
number 3.
like good.
It's extremely good. I walked by her. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
So those are all really good things. Here is my dear PVF. It's not going to be a minute. 3 things that could have been better about this tournament. 1, I understand the choice of a neutral location. These teams are all playing in their respective arenas that cannot be held for months until we see who the 1 seed is.
My personal preference is that they would have chosen a city like Indy, but just a little had it in a bigger arena in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think we were all hoping for that, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what we were all pulling for, especially because playing that game on a Sunday in Pacific time zone, I wasn't taking a red eye on Sunday night after the match.
Yeah.
So I had to pay for another hotel night. I mean, I could have taken a red eye. People took the red eye, but miserable. I don't want to do that to go back.
But then they, at the same time, they have to learn from the love, like that was in a city that no team was based out of. And I think that's also a recipe for disaster.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it can't be full neutral.
It can't. Yeah. So it's.
But what
difficult.
if you went full neutral at like a place that has like a big college program, like
Chicago,
like Nikki's hated Louisville. Nikki's rival Louisville.
But that's what. That's
no,
where
that was
love.
New Orleans.
No, they were in Louisville. Yeah,
they were in Louisville.
Yeah,
Louisville
and
Charlotte.
And it was, but they did it because of the big youth volleyball tournament there. Yeah, that's a whole other.
Can you imagine who would have come to the Louisville PVF playoffs? It would have been so many Anna and Elena stands. Yeah, that would have been unbelievable. Indy would have won, I think, the whole thing. Maybe if for the bird heads.
Yeah, but like also it also I think to do something like that, you would have to like set that up before the beginning of next season so you can like hammer it all year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
so that
you
takes
should
to
go
my
here and it's an event. Even if it's not your team, if you love volleyball, you should come here. It'll be a carnival.
This takes me to my second point, which is that Vegas is a fun location, and I'm guessing they wanted to host it in a fun place that wasn't Omaha. But you cannot wait this long to announce it.
Yes.
Fans had no time to make travel arrangements, and that's what you were asking of people, was everybody who was a fan of these 4 teams to make travel arrangements. They didn't start selling tickets to this until like a few weeks beforehand. Either book it somewhere full neutral and advertise it all year long, or Have it be a different, like you're just rotating the turn. Everybody gets a turn once. So that you have the next
Yeah.
8 years plotted out and you know who's hosting and
How
it's
do
a
they-
pure rotation.
How do they decide the Super Bowl?
Something like that.
It's like a
And
lottery.
warm places.
Yeah, that's less like stringent now because they did New York when it was cold, but
Ugh.
yeah, it's
My
mostly in like nice places to go.
Yeah.
my third thing is Mother's Day Championship is a bad choice.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
People who might have traveled even last minute, which is already you got people who have to travel, big part of the filter. Then we go down.
Yeah.
People who are diehards and would have traveled had plans
yeah.
with their
Plus, it's
mothers.
tough for
Yeah.
also people like me who have already told my mom I can't travel.
for a made up reason. So that I can't all of a sudden be able to travel to a different location or else the lie is up.
Right. Yeah,
You
just
know,
a
yeah.
lot of things wrong with the marketing here
And
and
do
with
moms
some of the choices.
and do moms want to come watch their daughters play volleyball?
They've been doing it their whole lives.
See, my mom came to watch me. Shout out to my mom.
That's so nice. But think about it. Club season is in full effect.
Yes.
Not high school or college, but like club season is in full effect during Mother's Day. I played so many tournaments
Yeah.
on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Don't make them do it anymore.
Yeah.
They've had enough.
That's my really long Dear PVF. Thanks for contributing.
Thanks for the listicle. We love that.
Oh, anytime. Just call me
Good one.
BuzzFeed. The championship. We don't have to talk about this too much. I feel like we've been peppering in observations about the championship this whole time, but Indy versus Orlando, aka the Abercrombie show.
Yep. And Indy hitting like doo-doo. Oh, like butt.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Like butt.
I mean, they really only had set 3. They had a shine, but they were right back to their old butt
Yeah.
business in set 4.
Old butt business. Yeah, that was a bad time. On the whole match 132, set 3, I think it was they hit 400 as a team and it was just
Yeah.
up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
56 in set 1, 43 in set 2. The glimmer of 400 in set 3, mostly led by Ajani, who hit 545, and Nina, who hit 444. Like, set 3 was incredible. I was
Yeah.
also sitting in a different place. I was in the front row on the Indy side. So that was very fun. Shout out to Elvis for letting me sit there for a little while. I was probably in the broadcast for that one as well. And then in set 4, back to hitting 37. Just confusing.
On TV,
And
it just seems like, yeah, Orlando's huge. And they didn't have like a ton of blocks. A lot of block touches, felt like. Kaz
Indy?
Brown was, no, like Orlando.
Orlando had 15 blocks on the night, though.
Yeah, it was it was a lot. Like, it wasn't crazy, but even more block touches.
Yeah,
And
and
Kaz
Lindsay
Brown was awesome
Vanderweyde.
again.
Mm-hmm. Kaz was good. But again, like in this press conference, these players, the Indy players and coach were just like, yeah, we had no answer for Abercrombie. Like they basically chalked this up to just like there was nothing we could do about that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Brittany, like, she kind of took over that entire game. I mean, to hit 403 as an opposite and have 28 kills, like, that's pretty unreal. So we couldn't figure out how to slow her down, really, and then it was hard for us to put a ball down. So I think that they served well, they defended well, and it was hard for us to put a ball away.
Yeah, I think George talked about a little bit of maturity. Kind of felt like a deer in headlights a little bit to start the match. A little frantic, and that's not really who we are, and so it's hard to get yourself out of that hole when their team kind of has all the momentum. Again, Brittany, that's otherworldly numbers, so when you play that well and then we play like how we played, it's kind of a recipe for not good. So
Yeah.
He's an unlimited athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also asked her about that. I was like, how are you doing after this year?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that before, like a little bit of a nod to her recovery and how she trains. And so like she responded to that. And then also like Kaz contributed some like extra context about Brittany.
I'm feeling great. I think this represents a lot of the kind of hard work that I've put in the past almost 3 years overseas, like training my body, training my mental toughness, and being able to perform under pressure and come into the gym consistent every single day. I feel like this season and AU is kind of a culmination of all of that work, and I was really happy and proud to be next to a team, to be playing with a team who does the same, who shows up consistently every single day and wants to win.
Amazing.
Can I say something about Brittany? Sorry. So Brittany's awesome. You guys know that statistically on the court, off the court. But I just want to say that we're really fortunate in our gym to have a superstar who works so hard. There was a point in the season, like Brittany leads our team usually in attack attempts, and there was a point in the season where she started staying after practice was done to condition so she could be ready when we went to 5 sets or when we got into the playoffs in May. So I just want to let you guys know, like, what you see her doing out there is a culmination of all the things she does to prepare for those moments. So we have full trust that she's going to perform like that on the biggest stage, and she puts herself in a position to be successful when it counts the most. So I just want to give her her flowers. Like I said, we're really, really lucky to have a superstar who does everything the right way.
So many cryo sleeves.
I'm surprised that Anna DeBeer stayed in as long as she did.
Wait, I was going to say, so
And
just for the 2 sets, you're saying?
yes,
You think she should have come out after 1?
yes. And I also think Caitlin Baird maybe should have. But the thing is, they needed the bigger block, I think, is why
Okay.
Caitlin Baird was.
It's interesting
tell
though.
me.
So wait, so Anna did come out in the second.
Yes.
I know she hit real bad, -357. Katie Baird also hit terrible.
Yeah.
I thought Anna should have gotten another chance. Or
Yeah.
Carly or somebody.
Yes.
In the fourth.
Yes,
I
I
would have
agree.
put somebody else in the fourth.
But I think they were having, it's like Caitlin is a pretty big block against Abercrombie. And so
Right, and that was
I
the
think that there
attempt.
was they didn't know what to do. And
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But that didn't work.
But I agree because I was watching. I was like, oh, yeah, get her out of there.
I mean, Katie passed really well when she came in. And she didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Which led me on like a whole path of like, this girl comes from this Turkish league that everybody says is incredible. And she hits 0. Yeah, I'm just like, what is different then? And I don't want to say she's bad or she's overhyped. That's not what I'm saying. I'm like, is there something about the tempo of the set that's different at that level? Is there something about that she's not used to hitting against this blocker height? But there was something that was like, she just didn't, I was watching it with my own eyes. She didn't have it. Her timing was off.
Yeah.
It was wild.
She's had like good moments though in the last few weeks.
She has, but where was she?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
It was just bad.
It was just not her game.
Elena Scott is awesome.
So good.
She's really so good. And
Yeah.
like Kylie Murr came in, and I thought like seeing her play this like demoted position was, she like really took it in stride. She worked really hard when she did come in. She would come in to serve sometimes and play some defense. But gosh, Elena Scott's so good. I wonder if they can keep her. I wonder where she'll go, what she'll do. As a libero, if you are the go-to, I feel like you kind of stay put.
Yeah.
In pro, in this world.
Yeah.
Because there's so few spots where you can be like happy.
Yeah.
I hope they keep her.
I hope so too.
Don't try to learn French, Elena. Just get a tutor. Just stay, please. Johnny Taylor, after this press conference, also shook my hand again.
Oh.
Love her so much.
Yeah.
And overall, Sydney Hilly was almost a 2-time champion.
Yeah.
But I don't think, let me look really quick. I don't think we have any 2-time champions. I don't think there were any Omaha players
Nope.
that went to Orlando.
I don't think so either.
Um, and then just need to mention, I love when the setter gets the MVP of
Oh, I
the
cried.
match of the playoffs because it's the only time that a setter gets any love at all. So love that for Chapu.
I cried. She was so happy.
I know.
I did like on the broadcast, by the way, they had little mini documentaries about each of the 4 teams before and in between the games.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, the Orlando one was just like Champ's seems like the best.
Yeah, she's awesome. This press conference with Kaz, Brittany, and Amy was so cute. They were so happy. They were giving each other so many compliments.
I think the last thing I just want to say, I have to give kudos to the 2 people next to me. I always get asked who are the leaders on our team, and every single time I say Brittany's our leader by action and Kaz is our leader by voice. And this combination of personalities, work ethic, competitiveness, like they are such a big reason of why this organization made the jump this year. And sometime in the middle of the year, I think that we talked about like a 1% behavior change to help us really get over the hump. And they took it upon themselves to just continuously be selfless. They wanted to be great, but they also knew that they had to push other people. And so I can't thank Brett enough for joining this organization and having trust in our team and our coaching staff and what we built. And I'm going to get really emotional. I know last year wasn't easy, and she made me work for it to get her back. But just the like faith that she has had in me and what we could do here is so rewarding. And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else because she's such a ham. She's such a ham. But I truly like Kaz is the face of our organization because of how much she puts into the community, puts on a show, cares about doing things the right way. And I love you, Kaz, and I thank you. And I can't wait to do it again next year.
Oh, I asked Kaz about her energy. And yes, I did put a fake phone up to my face when I asked her the question.
And did she answer with a phone?
She did answer with the phone.
Kaz Brown, you brought the energy all year. You've been so important to the success of this team. Where do you find the energy?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm like genuinely having fun. And so I definitely am like a showman and I get pretty performative. And so I think those things go hand in hand. Usually the better I'm playing, the better the celebrations are. And I think our team really feeds off that. I only played 3 rotations, so I have to make them count. So you'll see me with the big celebrations or being really verbal on the court just because I want to make sure like my teammates and my opponents both feel my presence during my, little 50% that I get to be on the court.
Yeah.
It
was awesome.
That's awesome.
I wondered after I did it, like I was really excited to do it. And I wondered after I did it if they were like, no, that's our thing. Like,
I'm sure they loved it.
Like,
I'm sure they loved
you
it.
don't have to do that. That's weird.
I would love
that's
to have a
thing.
video of that.
I know. I don't think there is one anywhere. I really felt like there was a lot of like mutual respect in that Orlando press conference. Like, I just want to mention there's so many haters, hateration, holleration against a lot of these coaches, against a lot of the women, especially. And I really, every player has their own opinion. Every individual is going to have their own relationship with this coach. But like, there was just so much love for Amy between Cass and Brittany, and just like generally mutual respect that, I don't know. I just like, I guess my comment would be, if you're an outsider, you're an outsider. I'm an outsider. We cannot say, say who's doing a good job. Like it's up to them and their
Yeah.
relationships with each other. And
And
I
all
think people speculate on it all the time, but like,
and all we can see is the output, and obviously
Yeah.
it's
And they
working.
won.
Like
right,
Yeah.
right.
same with
So
Kayla
cool.
Banworth, like she turned that team around. I mean, they weren't struggling by any means, but
But at the
like
beginning of the season, yeah, it wasn't going
yeah.
well.
And then
Mhm.
like had this unbelievable streak. Like all we can judge is the output. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And her winning coach of the year, like at the gala, the number of voices who were like cheering for her, so excited for her,
Mm-hmm.
yelling out, I love you. Like just like
Mm-hmm.
there were so many players that just really, really love and respect her. And I have to say, like, I think she's gonna get the most returners is Kayla for the vibe.
Wow.
Like
Nice.
I
Good
really do
vibes there.
think. I think that yeah, good vibes there. The way she talked about her players, she at one point in that speech was like, you know, I've coached a lot of teams over the years. Like this one's my favorite one.
Amazing.
Uh, one other thing about the gala, I know we have some listeners who are bummed about the fact that there's fewer games on YouTube and that it's like you got to check the schedule to see where the heck the match is. I know that's inconvenient for you guys. But it's not going to change anytime soon because Jen Spiker had the opening remarks at this gala. And she said, we had this many matches. I think it was like 40 something. This many matches on like a nationally syndicated channel, you know, some nationally syndicated channel this year. And we're only going to be growing. And people are bitching that there's not matches on YouTube.
Uh,
But guess
Well,
what?
no, I
YouTube
get it.
doesn't pay. That's what she
Yeah,
said.
yeah. She doesn't
And I
pay, and
get
I
it.
get it.
She's
Like,
not wrong.
why would
She's not
you?
wrong.
But why would you want your fans to be able to watch the games? Like it's obvious. Like
you know, I'm fine with
Better
them
that
not
way.
being like on YouTube.
Broadcast?
Yeah, on
Broadcast to
YouTube.
YouTube? Available on YouTube, yeah.
But like, could you put them on? They have they been putting them on a week after?
Afterwards, it's
Yeah,
very I do think that like
it's
the
like
individual
inconsistent.
stations get rights to them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So like it'll appear on the Roku app so many days afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically just like have to watch it live or think about this. Maybe put together a highlight package for every match and put that on your YouTube with someone hosting it and saying,
Like
here are
the
the big
court
things that
captains?
happened. Here are the big things that happened. I mean, certainly could be us.
Sports Center.
Or you could just listen to our podcast if you need a recap.
Yeah, but the visuals would be cool, right? Like
Yeah, you're right.
getting the highlight package, being able to talk through a bunch of stats, basically an Ian Scorner version, but with visuals and some of
Or
our
just like make
opinions.
your
what I hate is this happens with a lot of sports that are so miserly over their highlights on the internet. Is just like let people repost highlights and readily be able to find clips to post and talk about as shit is going on.
I mean, I've thought about doing that so many times. It's like a full ass job.
yeah.
So they would
that's
need to
what it's
hire someone to post those clips and allow them to. You know what I mean?
Clips editors. They're the unsung heroes.
For real. In this economy.
Also, one other thing about the commentary, full commentators curse both games on Natalie Foster.
Why? They were
She
saying
would
how
be
good she
coming in.
was.
They're like, "Oh shit, the Undertaker music is coming on. It's Natalie Foster. She's leading the league in aces." And then she had 2 serving errors to start the game. Her first 2 serves in the semifinal were serving errors, and then she was great. Like her serve was great, but I think she had 9 errors over the 2 games, which was like not something that she's really
Yeah,
done.
but they were like
I
really
just fully
hyping her up.
yeah, I fully blame the commentators for that whole
Yeah.
business. And
I mean, this final match, I'm glad Shampoo got it. I'm glad the Valks won. It didn't feel like great volleyball to me. I mean, it felt like great volleyball out of Brittany Abercrombie. But
Yeah.
yeah,
talk about Natalie Foster. She played all 4 sets. She got 8 attempts
Yeah.
Mhm.
to swing. Brittany had 62 Courtney Schwann had 12. That's your other outside.
Yeah. I know, and I thought Lindsay played really well, but she only had 22 attempts.
22 attempts. Kaz Brown with 20. I mean, having one of your middles have more opportunities to hit than one of your outsides is a big deal. But it was not a well-balanced offense. It
No.
didn't have to be. And
It's
that's
pretty
very
wild.
nice. The winning team passed 41% positive compared to Indy, the losing team, that passed 51% positive.
Because they just had to throw it up to the right
She
side of
just
the court.
chucked it up. Yep, she just chucked it up there. And yeah, like that's to pass 41% positive and to
pretty
win
wild.
in 4. I mean, obviously it is and the fourth set being 25-15. It is obviously it is accurate, I would say, for the coaches and for Indy to say we didn't have an answer for Brittany. Correct. Because Brittany was the only question.
Yeah.
And so watching that match, of course it was fun. Of course everybody was excited. But it like wasn't like
Yeah.
as good a volleyball as Friday, specifically the last time Indy played. So unfortunately, like that's the way this league goes sometimes, is that one player can kind of wipe the floor, you know?
Yep.
How many games did they win in a row to finish the year?
Orlando?
7, yeah.
Including the playoffs, I've gotten back 7. Yeah, they lost to Atlanta 7 matches ago.
Okay, yeah. Final 5 of the regular season, which was like a bit of a tear.
April 12th, the last time they lost a match.
7. They had 7 in a row. Yeah.
They really like turned it on at the right time. I guess.
Yeah.
They were on fire
I guess
then.
Brittany did specifically.
I mean, Brittany's
Well, really-
been on fire. We
Yeah.
said she was going to get MVP from the beginning.
We did, yeah, for sure.
Another correct call.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Stacking up.
Well, that's all I've got on the volleyball. I just want to mention 2 more things. I said I was in all of those press conferences after the matches. I did not ask anyone about Omaha.
Yeah.
In the press conferences,
and no one asked about it.
There was
along
an
the
eerie
media,
feeling.
everyone was mum on the topic. No one was referencing it. No
Maybe
one was
everyone
talking
forgot
about it amongst themselves. I mean,
Did you consider
don't-
that? What if everyone forgot?
what if everyone just said, I don't know what
Everyone's
that is.
been, what's the Hermione spell that obliterates her parents' memories?
I think you just said it. Obliviate.
Yes!
Obliterate. Yeah, I mean, it was just like so not a thing that anyone. And even when Bird
I mean, what are they
and
going to
Brooke-
ask?
No, of course not. Of
Because
course.
the thing is,
I would ask, like,
I'm
hey,
sure they
is
don't
this
know
still-
anything.
Yeah,
I
is
know.
this still going on? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't going to be like, how does it
Um,
feel to
yeah,
be done with the
not
Pro Volleyball
be in the
Federation?
league anymore.
I mean, like, it's just such a question mark. It wasn't even being whispered about among anybody else. Obviously, I cared deeply that anyone but Omaha win because of the turmoil. But, like, I did not say anything to anyone. And Bird and Brooke in the post-match, like, they didn't allude to anything.
Yeah.
Nothing about like for our last match or like we've
Yeah.
really enjoyed our time.
Question. Let's say MLV blows up. Okay.
Mhm.
Which, like, at this point, you know, again, we haven't heard anything. Who knows what the future holds? In order for Omaha to be let back into the Pro Volleyball Federation, someone would need to buy that team. Is that correct?
I think that the league admin and other team owners are not interested in the Supernovas coming back if Danny White still owns it.
Right. Yes. Right.
So to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
I believe that is accurate.
Because it's like if the MLV blows up and now you're left with this rogue team, I would imagine Danny White would want to cut his losses and just sell it back to the league or sell it to literally anyone because, yeah, they're not going to let him back in.
That's the question is, like, if they don't exist in any form, then what are the PVF's options for, like, a different Omaha team? You know, like, I don't... no idea, obviously, what the legal side of that would look like in terms of putting another team in Omaha. Because I assume right now, like, they don't have the option to do that.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
But anyway, yeah, I was just wondering hypothetically, just with the
Yeah.
Omaha situations, because it's just everything feels so in the up in the air. I'm sure
Totally.
we'll get some sort of news at some point in the next couple months, but
You would imagine.
yeah.
I'm being told that free agency starts on like the 19th or 20th of May.
Okay. All right.
So I think we're going to get a little bit of information sooner than later.
Can't
We might
wait.
need to emergency pod next week.
Ooh.
But we probably won't be coming on here to talk again unless there's emergency information. So that could be free agency next week if that actually happens. And then the second other topic I wanted to mention is that besides Dallas posting for the first time in over a year on their Instagram, no one also said anything about that.
That was strange.
And like, by the way, I reposted that Dallas post that was like, congratulations to Indy and Orlando who will be in the championship, right? Like just like the same post that the league had
Uh-huh.
to announce what the championship was going to be. And I posted Wake Up Babe, the Dallas franchise account posted.
Uh-huh.
Jen Spiker gave it a fire emoji. So
Nice.
it wasn't nice. So it was
Strange.
intentional, but I expected an announcement any day now. So what
Like,
that means
just-
is that we're going to stop recording and then they're going to announce something.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I feel like they're acting like that was like some cryptic post that like Taylor Swift would do to like tease her new album, but like
Yeah.
PVF
Like,
girl, you can't do that. You gotta
why would
you
you
need
not
some
wanna-
pomp and circumstance.
Why not take
You-
the opportunity when supposedly like is the last time that you will be on TV for a year
Yes.
to tell
Right.
people that there is a new
Great.
franchise?
Great point, Ian.
It would
Yeah.
seem like an ideal, like this is the time.
It's
Tell us.
pretty
Right now.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
But
And
let's just hope people are watching our Instagram.
yeah, I was really hoping for an announcement on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, especially that team needs to be announced before free agency. Otherwise, they're behind the eight ball. It needs to be like Indy, where they can sign players along with everybody else at the same timing. So, at best case scenario, they will announce something while I'm editing this.
Amazing.
Okay, well, that was our last episode of the regular season. Well, that's not true. That was our last episode of the second season of the PVF.
Of court captains.
Of court captains.
Yeah,
A
who
volleyball
can say what the
podcast.
chicken and the egg is in that situation?
No, we were all first. We were all here first.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly shout out my old high school coach, Judd. Thanks for listening.
Judd.
He didn't realize that he was organically listening to the podcast and didn't know that the Kelly that he was listening
was
to
your
was the one that he
voice?
coached.
Wow.
What does that say about the number of Kellys in
Yeah.
volleyball?
Until we did our Instagram live and he messaged me, he was like, wait. And I just think that's hilarious and lovely.
That's
and
pretty
That's
very
beautiful.
fun.
Hey,
So shout
Judd.
out.
And I'm going to shout out our friends from the fan meetup in Vegas. That's Maggie, that's Elvis, that's Wes. Thanks so much for a fun day. Thanks for listening. And we really appreciate you. And thanks for listening to Court Captains of Volleyball Podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you like what you're hearing. And like and subscribe on YouTube. Support small podcasts. And if you don't like what you're hearing, then please just go ahead and mind your business. Follow us on Instagram at CourtCaptainsPod and email us your questions or comments at courtcaptainspod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to be the captain of your own court.
Nice.
So good.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.